So, what's actually happening in your brain when you see these two prices? Well, it all comes down to something called the left digit effect. Here's how it works. When you read a price, your brain processes it from left to right, just like reading a sentence. Makes sense, right? But here's where it gets interesting. That first digit you see, it carries way more weight than all the other digits combined. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because understanding this could literally save you hundreds of dollars. When you see $999, your brain immediately locks on to that 9, and subconsciously, you categorize it as 900 something. But when you see $1,000, that 1 at the front completely changes the game. Your brain now categorizes it as 1,000 plus. Even though the actual difference is just $1, literally the price of a candy bar, your brain treats these prices like they're in completely different leagues. Let me give you some real-world examples. Apple, masters of this. They price their MacBooks at $999 all the time. Car dealerships, they're obsessed with this. You'll see cars priced at $19,995, not $20,000. Real estate agents, same playbook. A house listed at $499,000 gets way more interest than $500,000. And get this, studies have actually shown that the left digit weighs about 50% more in our brain's price evaluation than it should mathematically. Think about that. Your brain is literally giving that first number 50% more importance than it deserves. So, when you're comparing prices, you're not actually comparing them fairly. Your brain is already biased toward the lower left digit. This is why $999 doesn't just feel a little cheaper than $1,000, it feels significantly cheaper. Your rational brain knows it's $1, but your subconscious, it's screaming 900 versus 1,000, totally different. And that subconscious voice is louder than your rational brain almost every time. Now, you might be wondering, why does our brain do this? Why would evolution give us a brain that's so bad at comparing prices? Well, it comes down to something called cognitive fluency. Basically, your brain loves taking shortcuts. It wants to make decisions quickly and easily without burning too much energy. Back when we were hunting and gathering, this was super useful. Quick decisions meant survival. But in the modern world of retail pricing, these mental shortcuts get exploited. When you see a price ending in 9, your brain creates what psychologists call a mental category separation. It's like your brain has these invisible filing cabinets. Everything from $1 to $999 goes in the hundreds cabinet. But the moment something hits 1,000, new cabinet, the thousands cabinet, and that cabinet just feels bigger, more expensive, more serious. Now, here's where it gets really wild. There's this concept called the magnitude effect. Let's do some quick math. The difference between $999 and $1,000 is $1. $1. But the psychological difference? It feels like way more. Studies from MIT and the University of Chicago have shown that consumers perceive this as anywhere from $50 to $100 difference. Your brain is literally multiplying that $1 gap by 50 to 100 times when making the buying decision. And this effect scales beautifully, which is why retailers use it at every price point. 99 cents versus $10 works. $99 versus $100 works. $999 versus $1,000 works. $9,999 versus $10,000 still works. The research has found that this isn't just about cheap products or expensive products. It's about that left digit transition. Anytime you're jumping to a new first digit, your brain treats it as a major price increase, even when it's not. And companies know this. They've done the testing. They've run the experiments. They know that pricing something at $999 instead of $1,000 can increase sales by 15, 20, sometimes even 30%. Same product, $1 difference, 30% more sales. That's the power of understanding how your brain actually works versus how you think it works. But wait, it gets even sneakier, because smart retailers don't just use the left digit effect by itself. They combine it with another powerful psychological weapon called anchoring bias. Here's how anchoring works. The first number you see becomes your reference point, your anchor for everything that comes after. So when you see $9.99, your brain doesn't just see the price, it anchors to that 9. That 9 becomes your baseline and everything gets compared to that 9. But here's where retailers take it to the next level. They'll show you this. Original price, $14.99. Now only $9.99. Boom, double psychological hit. First, they anchor you to the $14.99. Your brain goes, okay, this thing is worth about $1,500. Then they show you $9.99. Now you're not just comparing $9.99 to $1,000, you're comparing it to $1,500. Suddenly, $9.99 looks like an insane deal. You're saving $500. Your brain is doing backflips. You feel like you're getting away with something. But here's the reality check. Maybe that product was never actually worth $14.99. Maybe the real price was always meant to be around $1,000. But by anchoring you high and using that left digit effect on the sale price, they've created this perfect psychological storm. And why is 9 specifically so powerful? Research shows that the number 9 is associated with discounts, sales, and deals in our minds. We've been conditioned over decades to see that 9 and think bargain. Meanwhile, round numbers like 1,000 even are associated with luxury, quality, and prestige. So $9.99 triggers your deal-seeking brain mode, while 1,000 triggers your this is expensive brain mode. Same dollar amount, different psychological worlds. Now you're probably wondering, where did all this even start? Who figured this out? Well, the history of charm pricing, that's what .99 pricing is actually called, is pretty fascinating. There are 3 theories about how this all began. Theory number 1, it was actually about preventing employee theft. Back in the late 1800s, when cash registers were first invented, store owners had a problem. Employees could pocket cash if a customer paid exact change, because there'd be no reason to open the register and record the sale. But if everything was priced at, say, 99 cents instead of $1, the customer would hand over $1, the employee would have to open the register to give change, and boom, the transaction gets recorded, harder to steal. Theory number 2 is similar. It's about forcing the cash drawer to open, creating an automatic paper trail. But theory number 3, this is where it gets psychological. Some researchers believe that stores in the early 1900s started experimenting with .99 pricing and noticed something weird. People bought more. Even though everyone could obviously see it was basically the same price, sales went up. And once that discovery was made, it spread like wildfire. Now, here's what's interesting about the cultural side of this. This pricing strategy is dominant in Western markets, especially the United States. We are absolutely obsessed with .99 pricing. Walk into any store and you'll see it everywhere. But in some European countries, there's actually been a pushback. Some retailers are moving towards round number pricing because customers are getting wise to the tactic, and there's this growing association that .99 pricing feels cheap or gimmicky. And then you've got luxury brands. Think Rolex, Louis Vuitton, high-end jewelry stores. They deliberately use round numbers. A Rolex isn't 9,999, it's 10,000 even. Why? Because round numbers signal prestige, quality, and luxury. There's no discount vibe. There's no deal hunting. It's just, this is worth exactly $10,000. Take it or leave it. But even in the digital age, where we don't use cash registers the same way, where everything's credit cards and Apple Pay, the .99 pricing still works because it wasn't really about the cash register. It was always about your brain. So now you're thinking, okay, if this is so powerful, does it work all the time on every product for every customer? And the answer is not quite. Let's talk about when charm pricing, the .99 strategy, is most effective. It crushes with impulse purchases. You're walking through Target, you see something for $19.99, and you're like, it's basically $20, whatever. And you toss it in the cart. If it said $20 flat, you might hesitate just a split second longer. And that hesitation, that's where sales die. It's also super effective on mid-range products. We're talking $50 to about $5,000. That's the sweet spot. The left-digit effect is strong enough to matter, but the price isn't so high that people are doing deep analysis and comparison shopping for weeks. Budget-conscious consumers? Oh man, this works like crazy on them. People who are watching every dollar, looking for deals, comparing prices closely. They're actually more susceptible to the left-digit effect because they're so focused on the numbers. And sales, promotions, limited-time offers? This is where 0.99 pricing absolutely dominates. It amplifies that sense of urgency and value. But here's where it backfires. Luxury brands figured out a long time ago that 0.99 pricing actually hurts them. Think about it. You walk into a high-end store, you're looking at designer handbags, and one is priced at $999. Your brain immediately goes, sale, discount, deal, and that's the opposite of what a luxury brand wants you to feel. They want you to feel like you're buying something exclusive, premium, timeless. So luxury brands price things at $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. Round numbers, clean, prestigious. Same thing with B2B enterprise software. If you're selling a $100,000 software solution to a corporation, pricing it at $99,999 looks ridiculous. It looks amateur. Business buyers aren't fooled by that, and it actually damages your credibility. Professional services, lawyers, consultants, high-end contractors, they charge in round numbers too. A lawyer doesn't bill you $399 an hour. They bill you $400 because round numbers signal expertise and confidence. Let's look at some modern examples. Tesla. When they price their cars, they use round numbers. Model S, $80,000, not $79,999, because Tesla has positioned itself as a premium, innovative, aspirational brand. The 0.99 would cheapen that image. Walmart, on the other hand, 0.99 everywhere, because Walmart's entire brand is everyday low prices. They want you thinking about deals and savings. The 0.99 reinforces that brand message. Apple? They're fascinating because they do both. iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, $999. Because even though Apple is a premium brand, these are consumer products bought by individuals who are price sensitive. But their enterprise stuff? Mac Pro workstations, high-end corporate solutions, round numbers, because those buyers are different. So the takeaway here is charm pricing is a powerful tool, but it's not universal. You have to match the pricing strategy to the product, the brand positioning, and the target customer. When you want to signal value and deals, use 0.99. When you want to signal prestige and quality, use round numbers. It's all about what message you're sending to the buyer's subconscious. Alright, so now that you understand the 99 trick, let me blow your mind a little more, because this is just one tool in the psychological pricing toolkit. Let me show you some other sneaky tactics retailers use to mess with your head. First up is the 95 rule. Research shows that prices ending in 9 or 5 perform the best. 9 is number 1, but 5 is a close second. So you'll see a lot of prices like $45, $75, $95. That 5 still gives your brain a deal feeling. But it's just different enough from 9 that it doesn't feel overused. Next, we've got comparative pricing. You've definitely seen this. You go to buy a coffee and there are 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. But the medium has a little badge that says most popular.
Now, the medium isn't actually the most popular because customers naturally love that size. It's the most popular because the store designed the pricing to push you toward it.
The small is $3, the large is $6.50, but the medium is $4.50. Your brain does the math and goes, well, for $1.50 more than the small, I get way more coffee. And the large is only $2 more, but that feels too expensive. Medium it is. They wanted you to buy the medium all along. The small and large are just there to make the medium look perfect. This is called the decoy effect. You introduce a third option specifically to make one of the other options look better. Then there's price framing. This one's super common with subscriptions. Instead of saying this costs $1,095 a year, they say for just $3 a day, you can have. $3 a day, that's nothing. That's a coffee. I can skip one coffee a day and afford this. But wait, $3 times 365 days is over $1,000. If they'd shown you that number up front, you might have hesitated, but breaking it down into tiny daily amounts, your brain treats it like pocket change. Here's another sneaky one: font size and placement. Ever noticed how the dollar amount is huge, but the 99 cents part is tiny? Like you see this massive 19 and then a little tiny 99 next to it. That's not an accident. They want your brain to focus on that 19. The 99 cents gets visually minimized, so your brain kind of ignores it. And then there's the strategic placement of sale prices. They'll cross out the original price in smaller text and then put the new price in big, bold red numbers. Your brain sees that red, bold text and immediately thinks, alert, deal, save money, even if the original price was inflated to begin with. And finally, oh man, this one's powerful, the magic word free. Studies have shown that buy one, get one free massively outperforms 50% off 2 items. Mathematically, identical. You're paying the same amount either way, but psychologically, the word free lights up your brain like a Christmas tree. We are hardwired to love free stuff, even when it's not actually free. If you're buying one and getting one free, you're still paying for the first one, but your brain is so focused on that free that it ignores the fact that you're spending money. All of these tactics work together. Retailers don't just use one, they stack them, they layer them. They create these elaborate psychological traps that guide you toward the purchase they want you to make. And the craziest part? Even when you know about these tricks, they still kind of work because they're tapping into subconscious processes that are really, really hard to override. Okay, so now you might be feeling a little paranoid, like, wow, is every price tag just a psychological trap? And yeah, kinda. But here's the good news. Awareness is genuinely half the battle. Now that you know these tricks, your brain is way more resistant to them. You can't unsee this stuff. The next time you're shopping, you're gonna notice 0.99 prices everywhere, and you're gonna be like, oh, I see what you're doing there. But let me give you some practical tips to actually protect yourself from these tactics. Tip number 1, round up mentally. When you see $9.99, force yourself to think $1,000. When you see $19.99, think 20 bucks. Train your brain to automatically round up. This kills the left digit effect before it can work its magic. Tip number 2, calculate actual savings, not percentage savings. Stores love to say 50% off, but 50% off what? If something was originally 60 bucks and now it's 30, that's a real $30 savings. Cool. But if the original price was artificially inflated, you're not actually saving that much. Focus on the dollar amount you're spending, not the percentage you're saving. Tip number 3, use price tracking tools for big purchases. For anything expensive, electronics, appliances, furniture, use websites or browser extensions that track price history. You'll be able to see if that sale price is actually a deal, or if the item is always around that price and they just jacked it up last week to make the discount look better. Tip number 4, wait 24 to 48 hours before impulse buys. This is huge. If you see something you want, don't buy it immediately. Wait a day or two. If you still want it after that, cool, buy it. But most of the time, that urgency fades. The psychological tricks lose their power when you step away and think rationally. Tip number 5, compare actual value, not just price tags. Ask yourself, is this thing worth $1,000 to me? Forget what the price tag says. Forget the original price. Forget the discount. Would you pay $1,000 for this? Yes or no? Be honest with yourself. And here's a bonus tip. Calculate the true cost. That $9.99 price tag? Cool. But what about taxes, shipping, maintenance, accessories you'll need to buy separately? A lot of times, by the time you add everything up, that $9.99 turns into $1,200. So always factor in the total cost of ownership. Look, retailers aren't being evil here. They're just using human psychology to sell products. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how business works. But as a consumer, you've got to level the playing field. You've got to be aware of the game being played so you can make smarter decisions. And now, you're armed with the knowledge. You see the matrix. You understand the code. So next time you're about to buy something for $9.99, take a breath, Round that number up and ask yourself if you'd still buy it for $1,000. That simple mental shift can save you a ton of money over time. All right, let's bring this home. The left digit effect, that psychological trick that makes $9.99 feel way cheaper than $1,000, is just one of many pricing tactics that retailers use every single day. And it works. Like, it really works. Companies make billions of extra dollars every year simply by understanding how your brain processes numbers. That $1 difference? It's not about the dollar. It's about the mental category your brain puts that price into. But here's the thing. Retailers aren't being deceptive. They're not lying to you. The price is right there on the tag. They're just presenting it in a way that leverages how human psychology actually works. And honestly, that's just smart business. But now that you understand these tricks, the left digit effect, anchoring bias, charm pricing, all of it, you're a smarter consumer. You're harder to manipulate. You're more in control of your buying decisions. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you go shopping, whether it's online or in a store, count how many prices end in 9. I'm willing to bet it's like 90% of them. And drop a comment below telling me what's the sneakiest pricing trick you've ever fallen for. I want to hear your stories. If you learned something new today, smash that like button. And if you want more videos breaking down the psychology behind everyday stuff, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Because here's the final truth. That $1 difference between $9.99 and $1,000 is costing retailers billions because our brains just can't help but fall for it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.